Let's say I have a function f of x equals negative 0.072 x squared plus 1.93x plus 173.9. I'm asked two questions here. Question A, does it have a max or a min? Say it again. Because the leading coefficient is negative. Remember, always remember x squared. X squared has a positive leading coefficient and it looks like this. So it has a maximum. Perfect. I would like to determine the maximum. How do I determine the maximum? Very good. Always please remember, if the function is quadratic, only for quadratic functions. If the function is quadratic and we're asked to find the maximum or minimum, all you have to determine is the vertex. How do I get the x-coordinate first? Because I can jump to the y-coordinate before I find the x-coordinate. From the quadratic formula. They are connected. So, yes, negative b over 2a. Negative 1.93 over 2 multiplied by negative 0.072. Careful when you plug it in the graphing calculator. Since you already see that you have two negatives and you're multiplying and dividing them, you can disregard them because they will change into positive. So let's plug it in and give me the answer, please. If you take the test on Saturday, test 4, they close at 1 on Saturday. Okay, so be careful.
How long is the test?
2 hours.
Not that many questions.
Oh, about 12, 13 problems. It doesn't matter, you have 2 hours. Okay? So you have to arrive to the testing center at least 2 hours before they close. Because you may risk, so everybody has tests right now. Everybody. Online classes, and so on and so forth. And you don't want to risk there is no seat. So be very careful. Okay? How much did we get here? 26? Is that true? So careful, 1.93 divided by, in parentheses, 2 multiplied by 0.072. Be very careful because the calculator will divide by 2, but then will multiply the answer by the rest. So when I do that, it's 13.4. That's okay. It's good, a good mistake, so we can talk about it. It was good. Okay, so 13.4. But now we want to determine the maximum. What is the maximum? How do I find it? Yes, f of 13.4. So if you have that number, please give it to me. I would like to look at a similar triangles situation. Do we have any difficulties in graphing a parabola? Okay. How much?
186.8.
How much?
186.8.
I have no idea. I didn't calculate it. So I have negative 0.072 multiplied by the previous answer because I'm lazy to put it in, squared, and then plus 1.93 multiplied by the previous answer, and plus 173.9, and I got 186.8. True. Correct. Now let's look at the similar triangle situation. Let's say I have this. Let's say this is 20. Let's say this is 100. And this is 25. And I want to determine this. What is the idea with similar triangles? They have all angles are the same. So this small triangle, the triangle in green, it's not equal or congruent, we say, but it's similar to the triangle in red because they have the same angles. So this is the same because they are 90-degree angles. And this angle is common to both. So it must be the same in both. Therefore, this angle must equal this angle. Would you agree? So all these two triangles, the green and the red, have equal angles or congruent angles. Okay, and you can say, fine, that's all nice, but what did I accomplish? Well, a lot, because I can write proportions with their sides, but I have to be very careful how I create those proportions. These three numbers have to come from only one triangle. These three numbers have to come from only from the other one. You cannot mix and match. That's not sufficient, however. They have to come in a particular order. So let's start with a common angle. The side opposite to the common angle in the small triangle is? The opposite side in the small triangle is 25. The opposite side of the same angle in the red triangle is? Good. I finished with one angle. I'm moving on to the second angle. And I am back to the top, which means back to the small triangle. The opposite side of this angle in the green triangle. I continue with the same angle, but this time in the big triangle, in the red triangle. What is the opposite side?
80.
The whole thing is 100. It's the opposite side in the right triangle. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that clear?
Yeah.
I don't need the third one. I don't even have anything. If you want, I can write this as y and this is z. So it will be y over z. But I cannot use it because I have two variables in there. In order to find x, of course, I'm focusing on this. And I know I studied in chapter, what was it? 7. How to deal with this. What is it called? What is it? How do we call it? A proportion. Awesome. See? Who took the test already?
Pretty sure I didn't do very well. So.
I'm sure you did. So what do I do in a proportion? And only in a proportion. Right. So I have 2500 equals 20x. I simplify by 10 and then divide by 2, so I get 125. Any questions on this? Any questions? Which page am I on? 13. Okay. What if I have a graph like this? And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what if I ask you to give the domain of this function? What will be the domain of this function? 1, 6. What if I ask x-intercepts, if they exist? So you may have to approximate. So domain indeed 1, 6. What if I have an open dot here? Let's say this is an open dot, then what changes? Parenthesis, of course. Good. X-intercepts. In ordered pair format. Yes, 1 point something. 1.2 comma 0. And the other one? 4 comma 0. Okay. What if I have this function? F of x equals negative x squared plus 2x minus 3. And now I'm asking you to find f of 0. And then f of 1. And then f of x plus h. How much is f of 0? Perfect. How much is f of 1? So negative 1. You know, no, you're right. I'm sorry. It's negative. Yes, it's negative 2, right? So negative 1. 1 squared is 1 with minus in front is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. We agree?
Yeah, I put on the.
Okay, very good. So now, since we practiced chapter 12 so much, I think we did anyway, I know how to find f of x plus h. How do I write it? First,
X plus h squared plus t times x plus h.
this is very, very important. I don't know which course you are getting ready for next semester, but this is extremely important. You will, once you understand this, your life will be much easier. So then, I have to simplify it fully. I have to keep the negative outside, and I have to square. And again, this is our agreement. In parentheses, how many terms will you give?
Agree.
Yes, and they are x squared,
Plus 2.
very good, plus 2x plus 2h minus 3. All I have to do is just distribute negative sign, negative 1. Is there anything else that you would say I would like to look at again? I would like to review or something. Again, you only have time for the student opinion forms today, tomorrow, Saturday, and I think Sunday. And then they will not be available to you anymore. So if you decide to fill them out, that would be great. Any questions? Yes? Yes. Well, I can talk about it, but if you want to stay a minute after we adjourn today, then we will. I'm sorry? Yes, yes. Because I cannot add two fractions if they don't have the same denominator. So this has to be something over 5. So this is going to be replaced by 20 over 5, which is 4. So that's why we have 20 over 5. Anything else? How was it, Matt?
Not great.
Well, you didn't have a lot of review because you were not here also. Okay.
There was some stuff I was like, not familiar.
Okay. Anything else you would like to go back to?